Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Herve's Chop Shop. This week we're back on the Commodore, and we're going to try and get this other engine out. Alright, so I last left you with a storm brewing. It bucketed down for that entire day and then was pretty patchy this following day. And I think it's probably 2 or 3 days later now anyway. So it's time to get this engine out. Got to do the tail shaft, the exhaust, the shifter cable, and then the sway bar linkages because they're still attached. And then drop the whole engine and trans out, bring it out the front, and then start trying to swap over these engines. So I'm going to dive under there and get stuck into it. Alright, that was pretty miserable, but we've got the jack holding up the gearbox and everything's disconnected. So the tail shaft's still on the back of the Guibo thing and it's still sitting there. I don't know how much you can see, nothing. Alright, so now I'm just going to do the front sway bar links and then the 6 main cross member bolts and the whole thing should come out. Alright, so the engine's actually fully out and nothing's attached. The steering is getting caught a little bit on the extractor in there, but I think I'm just not strong enough to pull this out. So I think the jack and the engine crane are fighting each other a little bit, so I don't think I'm actually strong enough to pull this out. So I might have to use some persuasion in the form of 3.5 ton. I don't really want to do that. I don't always want to do the dumb thing. Sometimes I have to. I'm just going to try and move it a little bit and get all the wheels on the engine crane and the jack facing the right way, and then hopefully I can move it by myself. Alright, so we'll just try and move it a little bit. So there we go. There we go. Well, that worked really well. I was planning on moving it just a little bit, but then the actual jack stayed with it and it all happily moved along. So just pulled it all the way out with the truck. So now we got a nice clean engine bay. I'll probably pressure wash this actually because it's going back together and it needs to be nice. So I need to check these 2 engines over, make sure they're the same, change anything that's not changed. So he did mention the extractors might be different, and then I've got to swap over the power steering thing that I may have broken, and that's about it. I'm going to swap the subframe as well, so I'll put this engine on that subframe and use those engine mounts because these ones are knackered. So a fair bit more to do before I can go back in, so I'll just clean up and I'll call that a day. Well, I can't say I didn't look after him. Degreasing, pressure washing the engine bay. I can't put an engine back in a dirty engine bay. So the engine's out. I've degreased and pressure washed the engine bay. It's a little bit neater. It's not fantastic, but it's good as it's going to be. I've also removed the old engine from the subframe and then pressure washed and degreased the subframe, so that's nice and clean as well. And then we've got the other engine over here. So this is the bad engine, the black cover, and the good engine, which has a silver cover. So they're the same, just that one's been painted, but it's a good way to know what's going on. So now it's just starting to rain again, but when I get another chance, I'll unwrap this one and compare them side to side, make sure everything on this one is correct for the car it's going in, and then put it back on the subframe, and then try and put the whole thing back under the car.
We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
It's a bit late for that. So we just got the engine back in and the trans back in. Emily's been helping me today, which has been a lifesaver. We've got the subframe back in. The main 6 bolts are bolted up. The engine mounts are bolted up. The trans is all bolted up. I need to check the tail shaft. This is an editor's note. I need to do the tail shaft. If I'm editing this and I haven't done that, do it. I'm just changing over the power wires and the earth because I'm going to forget about them. Say what again?
Who goes where?
Oh. This stuff goes here. These guys go to the radiator. This goes to the radiator, to that thing via the radiator. This goes to the radiator. That goes to the thing that's over there. This thing goes to the thing that's on the front. That thing goes to that thing, and that thing goes to that thing.
Which one goes to the wristwatch?
That one. This one, I think.
Okay, thanks. What's wrong?
I fixed it. So I put the heater hoses on, and see how I put the clips at the top? So you can get pliers on them? It's almost as if someone in the factory should have done that. Holden worker. So I'm working on the car with Emily, and Harley's here, and we turn around, and Felix is going through some shit right now. I don't know what's going on, bud, but I hope you get through it. Felix. What's he looking at? Felix.
Felix.
Hey, bud. You alright? Is everything okay at home?
Your parents fighting.
Mum and Dad fighting again. Alright, so I got a lot of the engine back together, a lot of the wires and ancillaries hooked up. Can't remember which ECU came out of which car. I can't remember which fuse box came out of which car, so we're just going to like dummy fit all of that stuff, which we have done. And I went to go hook up the battery, and I can't do it because when I jacked the car up, I moved it too close to the wall, and I can't open the boot. So we let the car down so I can put the battery on to try and start it. And then I have to jack it up again anyway to do the rest of the tail shaft stuff. Stop. It does work. Engine immobilized. Wrong ECU. Attempt number 2. It works. She squirts.
It was so anticlimactic.
Why?
He turned it off and then it was like...
So we've got it all back together. Still got to put the front end on obviously, and still got no exhaust or O2 sensors. I'm still got just tail shaft thing. Put water in it and blew it everywhere, so I can't tell if it's leaking now, which is a little bit annoying. But I'm going to start it and run it for a little bit. It's got water in it now to see if it is happy and continues to idle. It's going to be really loud and it's kind of going to suck, I would imagine. But we're going to do it. part of the episode. Sunny on tilt. See you next week.